First off, give thanks and praise to my Lord and Savior, okay, and glorifying Him and helping us today in this win. And so, thank you. I want to thank the Iron Workers Union, ILWU, Sheet Metal Workers, Masons Union, and Building and Trades for all that they do for us. I want to thank our ledge to our, we got great supporters in the ledge, starting with our governor, lieutenant governor, our senators, and our House. They do a great job of supporting us, and so I just want to really thank them for all that they do for our university and our UH athletic program. Tonight was a good call for us to come back and respond the way we did. Those guys had a great week of practice. I think that's what it starts with us, is just understanding what type of mindset we have to have going into these weeks, and starting with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday being what we need them to be, and that's what happened. So proud of those guys. I'm proud of how they played in all three phases. And if there's stuff to clean up, of course, and we'll get to watching the film, and then it's back to Monday work.
It seemed that Luke was very comfortable, probably because he got all the snaps this week. And how'd that help his preparation? How many plays did you end up having a script for him?
Luke is a diamond for us. I mean, he, when we recruited Luke, there's one qualification that comes to mind. That's a winner. That's what intrigued us about Lukey coming here to the University of Hawaii. He through January all the way through now, he's put in the work. Nothing really phases him, and he goes out there and operates. And that's what you have to do as a quarterback. You got to go out there and operate. You got to know your system. You got to know your system. He came in and learned it within 8 months, and was able to just. Study, even though, Micah maybe got a lot more of the reps, especially when he got to training camp. But, Lukey's right there understanding what we have to do. He's a really good quarterback, and really proud of how he performed tonight.
Hey, Coach Chang, congratulations.
Thank you.
The final scoring play for you guys to go up 17 there in the waning minutes. Did you weigh between either field goal or touchdown, and then what went into, getting that, basically the home run play to seal it?
Yeah, it's one of those situations where the CAI book would say, I think at that point the CAI book had 10 yards and more to go for it, and it makes sense, right? It's you kick a field goal, it's still only up 2 possessions, right? With them having a chance to make 7, onside it, and then go make 7 again. So your chances of controlling the clock within under 3 minutes, or 2 minutes, and holding on to that lead, holding on to the ball. At that point, the clock is not your friend, and so it's kind of a chess match, because they could have backed us up if they wanted to, but they elected to leave it there and decline it on 4th and 2, and so we tried to draw them off sides, and then had a timeout left to draw up a play that, if we're up 10 and we don't get it, they got to drive the length of the field, and so felt comfortable calling it, and more importantly, no matter what you call the guy, we have to execute, and that's what those guys did, and that's what I'm proud of.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. Could you just speak to how important a fast start was for you guys today? Good job by the defense of getting a 3-and-out, and then a 47-yard bomb to start things to Pafele.
Yeah, it's important. It's important. I think as this team, I think as people get to see this team, they're starting to see a different side of how these guys are operating. We are operating at a higher level, and fighting through adversity. And in some cases in the past we didn't. In other cases we haven't started fast. And so it's very important for these guys. It's things that we talk about day in and day out. So it was a great game by us, by all 3 phases: special teams, offense, and defense.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. What more can you say about how confident you guys are in Kansei, and just how comfortable he's been this year?
Yeah, Kansei is he's starting to be really consistent in what he's doing. For him, it's all about his mindset and how he's operating and how he's working. And so, as long as we just want to continue to put him in successful positions, and he just continues to be solid. I think a couple things go unnoticed though, but his protection up front as well as his operations from snap to hold as well have been clean. And so between that whole operation, even to the hurricane kick, the kick before the half last week, I thought that was really good by them. So that team is operating our team is operating at a really high level, which is enjoyable seeing. Kansai is just being consistent in what he's doing. So it's really good for us.
Hey, Coach, we talked about short yardage situations, and you guys executed on that tonight, especially that first touchdown. I think it was on 4th down. On play action, no less, right? You guys don't really want much run play action. So I know some of your staff were elevated in the role, so I guess kind of talk about the genesis and just that collaborative effort on offense with the coaches and the play call.
Sure. It really starts with Coach Anthony Arsenal. Having him here has really been a blessing for us. As well as, 2 offensive line coaches with Derek Favia and Winterhawk Lagden. They have been very consistent in getting those guys going. If our O-line is on par and is doing their job at a high level, it makes everything else a lot easier in the run game, the pass game, the protection, and all those things. And so that's been really good. And then Coach Asua, Coach Sheffield, guys that have been here for 4 years now, very consistent. We have great continuity. I think with Coach Anthony coming in and just really getting us organized, dialed in, holding the standard in that room, it has been a really, really big difference for us.
Hey, Coach. Luke Weaver had an amazing game tonight. Now, moving forward, how difficult is it for you to choose between quarterbacks, and could we expect Luke Weaver to play next week?
Yeah, we're going to get the guys ready, and they're going to play. But Luke made a great showing. Man, Luke was great in what he did, and we expect that from him. He prepares. He's a professional, and I really love our quarterback room. They have a unique tightness and closeness about them with Micah and Luke and Mar and Caleb. There's only really 4 of them. We don't hold a big room, and we kind of like it that way, so they can all experience getting coached and the tightness in the unit. And so they get a lot of attention, but they're great young men. But Luke is awesome. I mean, Luke did what he's supposed to do, and I'm very proud of him. And it's stuff that we talked during the week, and he put the time in, and it was like, hey, if you stay consistent, you stay calm, you're going to do just fine, and that's what he did.
Hey, Coach, talk a little bit about the defense, right? Solid first half, getting that takeaway for a score, holding the Bearcats to 6 points there. Just overall, talk about that performance by your defensive unit tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking at the numbers now. 248 total yards, 159 in the air, 89 on the ground. For us in the first half, I thought it was a big momentum change. We had a fumble that killed the drive, and then we had a penalty that also killed another drive, and they came up with a big score, a big takeaway and score, which I thought was a big difference for us to kind of to get the momentum back, and then we ended up with a field goal going up by, 10 or so in the half, and so I thought they played. Like Hawaii Warrior football, and very proud of them, and so got to keep going.
I got to follow up on the defense a little bit. I haven't seen the stat this good in a while for you guys at 2 for 11 for them on 3rd down, and if you include the one on 4th down, 2 out of 12, and I've always been told by DCs that's a big key. Yeah, and can you speak to that?
Yeah, getting off the field on 3rd down is the goal, and so they did it on. Yeah, you're exactly right. 2 of 11 on 3rd down. Stopped them on a 4th down conversion there at the end. That's a mindset. That's a mindset. That's them playing together, playing team ball, and if they can play at that level all season long, they're gonna be tough.
Coach, talking about the defense, outstanding today. I I guess if there's a concern you might have, you had 3 personal fouls, including 1 targeting. Was it were things getting, did you sense things were getting chippy or guys wanting to put their foot down after last year's game against Sam Houston?
No, not at all. You know, those are tough plays. I went out there to apologize to Coach Longo because it's, you know, the quarterback. Those are 2 really athletic quarterbacks that they played. I don't think I saw 10 tonight, but when they're running and they're, you know, they're consistently gaining yards, you know, and at the last minute, you know, the quarterbacks, you know, they go down. Our defensive guys are trying to trigger as fast as they can, so they got to make a judgment call. You know, we'll go back and correct it. It wasn't in retaliation. I think the world of Coach Longo and the Sam Houston program. Definitely wanted to get the win. You know, and they were a really good team last year. They won 10 games, and so you know, we want to play good, clean ball. I think without the penalties, I think we had. Looking at it right now, we had 6. I think before that last drive, going into that last drive before we had a couple more penalties, I think we only had 3 penalties. And so as you can see, our points of emphasis are getting across to our team. You know, if we don't give away games, we don't penalize ourselves, we don't turn the ball over, we're going to have success. And so we still got to clean up the turnovers. We had 2 tonight, one for a pick 6. But at least they're starting to understand, and they're pointing it out too, right? We're the last game in the country. We're watching everybody else play, and we're seeing, you know, these unforced errors and these things that are happening in games before. And so, like, we get into it. It's like, hey, we got to learn from these things, and we got to be better. So it's a good job by our guys, and just kind of really cutting back on hurting ourselves.
Gio, can you take us back on that pick 6? What did you see? And did you guys work on that a lot in practices or the team drills?
So just initially, I'm just checking to my number 3 receiver, and then ball gets out, runs to the ball, and Nahe makes a great play on the ball, breaks it up, tips it up to me perfectly. And I just took the opportunity. I turned it to the field and seen elephants on parade. We had a whole convoy, so I knew I just had to run as fast as I could, and I'd get to end zone. It was an awesome experience. Yeah.
Hey, congrats. Just wondering, when was your last defensive TD at any level?
Whew. I want to say I got to be Pee Wee. I haven't had a ball in my hands like that. I got a little excited, so had to make sure I covered all points and everything. And yeah, it's been a while though. It was awesome.
Yeah, overall, just talk about you know, the defensive unit tonight. You know, holding them to 6 points in that first half, and then just, you know, holding strong for the rest of the game. Talk about the unit as a whole and how you feel you guys performed tonight.
So I think we did a great job. We were all flying around. We were communicating. Every time we're off the field, we were, let's go, next drive, next play. Even after my pick, we were next play, flush it out, let's go. But we just had a great mentality. I mean, every day at practice, we have great mentality. We just brought it, and I think that's a really good showing tonight of what we could do and what we're hopefully continue to do the next 10 to 12 weeks.
Giovanni, how much has your familiarity with Chris Brown and all your other Bishop Gorman teammates helped you, you know, in your first season here at UH?
Yes, sir. I've been here for 3 months, and I've already feel like I've been a part of this team for all 4 years of my college career. Having Coach Brown and EP, Jemai, Cam Barfield, everybody, just like I knew as soon as I committed here, I was like, this is the place I want to be. It's the brothers I want to be with, and just you could feel the culture as soon as I stepped in the building. It was just different. It felt like back home in Egg Gorman. And yeah, it's been something special. Coach Chang has done a great job, and I'm so blessed to be here. It's awesome. It's been awesome.
It seemed like a lot of the 2s and 3s on defense was rotated in early on. I mean, I know you got to play more because Jemai got taken out, but it seems like you guys were even on the last drive when the back was in there, you guys were all juiced up. I think number 22, Ezekiel Rodriguez, was out there. So how much did that kind of fuel you guys as a defense, knowing that you guys would get your number called tonight?
Oh, it's awesome. And I mean, it just feels good to have guys like that could come in and play. Like Zeke, the energy was awesome when he came in. But yeah, just to have guys like that in depth like that, it's awesome. It's really, I think it'll take us to the next level.
Congratulations on the win. Was there a special emphasis on the defense tonight? I mean, Luke's making his first start, so was the defense kind of like, let's set the table, let's make his job easier, you know, let's go out and do our job?
Yes, sir. We going into the week, we knew we'd have Luke's back. He would do his job, and we just had to have his back. Just like any other quarterback, whoever's playing, we would do the same. So we just focus on playing as brotherhood and playing for each other as normal.
Hey, man, in the second half when they were reviewing for targeting, were you at all worried, knowing that it would mean you would miss first half of next game? And how was the feeling when they said no targeting?
I was definitely a little worried. It's hard to control yourself when you're taught to trigger and go make a play. I was definitely scared. I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know if I led with my head. Luckily, I would lift my shoulder. But yeah, it was a good feeling to not be suspended for next game as well.
At least you knew you were going to be the quarterback, right? What did it feel like in practices and how that helped you into the game, knowing that you weren't going to be perhaps going in as relief, but actually starting the game?
Yeah, getting the reps all week was a huge advantage for me, just to be able to get the chemistry going, get the communication going, and just feeling comfortable. So all the reps all week really helped.
Luke, congrats on the win. Did you have any of those extra butterflies today, like knowing this game was going to be yours?
Just pretty standard butterflies. I mean, ever since I was in youth, I get a little anxiety, a little butterflies for the game. So it was just pretty normal. And then once I catch that first snap, I feel all good.
I'm probably going to go over the limit about writing columns on complimentary football, but it was again tonight. I mean, even if you just count the points, it was like 6 from the offense, 6 from the defense, and at one point 6 or 7 from the special team. So even it's something basic like that. But, I mean, it just seems like that's what it is when you guys win, at least so far. I mean, in the small sample size. Can you talk about that a little bit, though?
Yeah, I mean, I think our whole team does a great job playing complementary football. Just whatever opportunity comes, you just have to capitalize on those. And I think our defense did a great job of that tonight. Our special teams continues to do a good job of that. And then our offense, we need to be better about finishing in the end zone, but we also did a great job about that tonight.
Hey, Luke, congratulations. I got a couple for you. The first one, right after you guys did the alma mater, looked like you went to greet your family on the side. Did they fly in specially for this game, thinking that you would start, and what was that moment like for you?
Yeah, I was very blessed to be able to have that was my mom and my sister. We were able to come to the game today. So, yeah, they got the news that I might be able to get in the game this week. So they made flights right away to try to watch.
And, my second one for you is I'm looking at photos of you from the game, and I want to say at least 80 or 90% of the photos, you got your mouth guard like half out of your mouth, like chewing on it in the middle of the play. Was that something like you always did going back to junior college or football career?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I started doing that in middle school, and then I just haven't switched back since. It just became a habit. But yeah, I've noticed that too. It's just second nature.
Seems like you and Tom have built a really good connection being on the second team. How much did it help being with him every practice?
Yeah, absolutely. Me and Tama talked a lot, especially going through the spring, just getting all the reps together. I love Tama. He's a great guy, so we hang out outside of football too. So, yeah, building that chemistry has been great, especially since we're getting in game reps together now.
Quite fascinating. I'm looking over here at your passing chart report. From 0 to 9 yards, you had an 87.5%, which you went for 7 for 8 for 51 yards, and then on the middle, we went from 4 to 6, 49 yards, 66.7. Just what made it effective for you?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Chang all week was really emphasizing just keeping it simple and keeping my read simple, just playing football at its purest form. So really that's all it was, finding who I was reading and just putting in the receiver's hands to make a play.
Could you speak to just the security blanket that is Pofele Ashlock and how much he helped tonight just to kind of push along even late in that second half?
Yeah, I mean, he's a dog. That's what we got. We put him back out there for a reason. Just Five's going to go score a touchdown. That's simple as that. So it's great. He's got all the confidence in the world, and I know he's going to make a play if you put it there out for him. So it's great having a guy like that on your team.
Late in that fourth quarter, you guys could have settled for that field goal, but you make that decision. No, you guys are going to go for the touchdown. Was that decision in the huddle, like, let's step on their throat, let's just finish it?
Yeah, for sure. Like Coach Chang was talking about just the 2 possessions, going up more than 2 possessions would just really try to put the game away and just put it in our playmakers' hands, and then was able to execute it.
Yeah, kind of going off Brian's earlier question. How many family and friends do you think were watching back home, like on a stream or something like that? And have you been able to hear from them yet?
Yeah, I'm blessed with a very, very great fan base, especially at home. I already was on FaceTime with my dad and my brother on the field, so I just checked my phone real quick, and all my old teammates and a lot of my friends have texted me and stuff. So it's very cool having all the support of my old teammates, friends, coaches, all that. Very blessed.
So Luke, I don't mean to bring this up, but after that pick six, you guys kind of centered yourself and drove down the field to score. So how did you kind of like calm down and kind of compose yourself to go score?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of our team's biggest emphasis right now is just one snap and clear. Can't let the last play affect the next play. You just have to move on, whether it's good or bad. And in that sense, just had to move on from that pick six and keep the game going.
Yep. Luke, talk about, kind of going forward now, you guys staying at home to take on Portland State and, what you were able to show tonight. If your number gets called next week, talk about the progression and what needs to get done this week going into Portland State.
Yeah, like Coach Chang said, just do the same thing. Enjoy the night, but starting tomorrow, we get right back to business, start recovering, and then start mentally getting prepared for this week and just treat it as a new week, 0-0.